In the soulless hellscape that is post-modernity, some very pertinent questions have entered the zeitgeist. Is a full-scale world war imminently approaching? Will it be possible for young people to ever have any economic utility? And of course, the most pressing of them all, are we living in a chopped man epidemic? For all of those who are employed, chopped is just the modern vernacular for ugly. Recently, a lady posted this video on the topic that went rather viral.
So as we're all very much aware, we are living through a chopped man epidemic, and there's a big shortage of baddies. It's gone so bad to the point that, like, if I see an attractive man, it genuinely makes my day. I was walking on the sidewalk earlier and I saw a cute guy in his car, so I waved to him and he smiled back at me, and obviously he drove away after that. But I was like, oh my god, a cute guy? Diamond in the rough, needle in the haystack, seriously.
Now, initially, my reaction was akin to the majority of the comment section because I'm such a rampant misogynist, which was like, come on girl, are you sure that you should be the one commenting on chopped people? But then because of course I can't seem to run from being a contrarian asshole, I thought about her claim in good faith, and honestly, and the dear men in the comments are gonna hate me for this one, but she's right. Most men aren't looking too hot in today's day and age, and it is true, you don't frequently see younger guys who are either extremely physically attractive or immeasurably stylish in day-to-day life. But I think the problem here is that women think that there's an abundance of fellow ladies walking around who are Aphrodite or Monica Bellucci incarnate, and as much as I would love for that to be true, believe me, this just is not the case.
My question to society is, why is it that I see a beautiful woman every day, multiple times a day, but a beautiful man I see maybe once every fiscal year?
To put it simply, I think we're living in a chopped human epidemic, which I think could be somewhat ameliorated, but we'll get to that later. The reality is, we're all chopped, twin. We're all cooked, gang, as they say. Talk about unity. Shall we, my darlings? The most interesting part of this video to me by far was the response to it. A woman saying all men are ugly, albeit a very bold and a delusional claim, is not remotely surprising to hear in 2025.
There is nothing worse than dating a man.
But the way that thousands of men responded to this in the comment section was not only one of the most embarrassing things I've seen in some time, but a crystal clear indication that masculinity, emotional intelligence, and maybe a little fucking restraint is unfortunately non-existent in these guys who responded to this woman, who are calling her ugly, a 3 at best, and of course, chopped. Honestly, in my mind, this video was intended as rage bait from a very clearly unwell person who should not be taken seriously. But not only did the men fall for it, the women got rage baited into hurling back vitriolic insults at the men in the comment section. Guys, hasn't the gender war run its course at this point, or are we just going to keep endlessly attempting to win a battle that will ultimately lead to the destruction of the human race? And the fact that fully grown adults are the ones making these videos, getting triggered by them, which I guess is understandable. Like, someone said that they hate you and you're disgustingly ugly, but it's like, crash out in the privacy of your own home, please. It's honestly so over, and I'm so tired of this shit. Anyway, this reminds me of when some guy had a viral tweet saying that Sydneysweeny of all people is mid, and another battle of misogyny and misandry ensued, and sidebar, it looks like Sydneysweeny is back in the news for her American Eagle campaign, and we have a bunch of people, a bunch of women in particular, who were defending her 7 months ago, and now are like, you're a Nazi. What the fuck? We are completely living in idiocracy, and I am totally crashing out right now, but that's fine.
Genes are passed down from parents to offspring.
Anyway, I don't believe that this elementary school behavior is going to come to an end anytime soon, so let me try and explain why I think the chopped man epidemic video went as viral as it did. Unfortunately, the answer is quite simple, and it's social media and dating apps wildly inflating our perspective of what an attractive person looks like. The reality is, most people are relatively normal or average looking, which is the way that it's probably been throughout all of human history. I will say, living off of processed foods and Caribbean mist flavored vapes probably aren't helping people's physical appearances, but I digress. I'm well aware that we see so many beautiful people on the internet, but in all actuality, that's probably about 0% 0.0001% of the population. So it shouldn't be expected that we're just going to be running into drop-dead gorgeous people on a consistent basis in person, which once again I wish was true. But sometimes we all have to put our delusions to the side. Something that social media has done, which is incredibly sinister, is cause us to view people and how beautiful they are through the lens of a camera, where it's almost like we've forgotten what real people look like. This phenomena perfectly explains women increasingly getting fillers and preventative Botox at younger and younger ages.
I've gotten Botox.
And 18-year-old boys trying to get on TRT and test to fill out their jawline in an effort to resemble their favorite Looksmaxxer. It seems as if everyone aspires to have Instagram face and body. Snatched waist body T for the girly pops, hunter eyes and 6'3" for the boys, perfectly symmetrical, smooth, almost inhuman features for all. And I know the body positivity movement kind of exists, but we saw how fucking fast that fell apart when Ozempic hit this scene. Like, let's be real, if most people were rich enough, they'd have every operation performed on them in the book. And if I may add, there's never been a body positivity movement for men, but to be fair, women have been and are still heavily scrutinized for their looks by all kinds of dudes, so I guess that point doesn't even make any sense. But the real issue here is how physical beauty has ascended all the way to the top of the hierarchy of how much you're worth as a human being in the modern era. And look, I can confidently say that I value beauty far more than most people do. Like, I genuinely believe that there's been a concerted effort by a certain group of people to systematically eliminate beauty to remove us from God. But I won't get too conspiratorial in this video. But we've literally reached the point where if you're not conventionally attractive, you're seen as a worthless person, and in many cases, not even seen at all. As a society, we have entirely lost valuing people for their virtue, intelligence, critical thinking, good acts, personal style, etc. But you know why? And this is where we get blackpilled. Most people don't have any of those things because being kind and selfless are not rewarded in today's day and age, especially amongst young people. Being beautiful is. Being rich is. Being a streamer that says "Ayo, chat" incessantly is. This is exactly why we're residing in such a fucking vapid, shallow, and ultimately a fallen world, where everyone is miserable, unfulfilled, and devoid of purpose, or just drowning it all out with copes galore. One more quick point to add. For being as obsessed with beauty and aesthetics as we are, why aren't most of us fucking 10s? Like, if we were that shallow, and we are, let's at least live up to it. But every day I see people wearing ill-fitting, baggy clothes and Crocs out in public with Labubu's on their bags, and dudes who go to the gym 6 times a week who don't even look like they're in shape. In short, the Labubu factory probably needs to be eradicated from existence. What's quite hilarious about the chopped man epidemic is that there are tons of ladies on the internet who post about just how horrible it truly is when they meet a man who fully understands how attractive he is, or knows his girth, as they say. So of course, not all men are bridge-dwelling cave trolls in the eyes of women, but for whatever reason, the sentiment pertaining to attractive men from women is almost always negative. Unless, of course, you're Duke Dennis.
Like, I feel like these girls, they want Duke Dennis. They don't want me. It's not fair.
Oh, shut the hell.
Why is this the case? I could make an entire video on this, but long story short, 1, men who are conventionally attractive and know it in many cases are looked down on by women because for most ladies in modernity, admitting a dreaded man, a misogynistic upholder of the patriarchy is attractive and maybe even out of her league would be more of an atrocity than committing a war crime. 2, the guys that are in the scene with an abundance of income, who have status, who are highly educated, who are making moves within the world, aren't really men or human beings for that matter. They're just cogs in a failed machine that make good money. And that's according to women. Oh, the Nasdaq is down 2.2%. Let me send an email on behalf of some Democratic senator who wants to bomb the Middle East. Generally speaking, if you're any of the aforementioned things, chances are you live in a major city, and it seems like that's where most women have the most contempt for men. Whether it's finance bros in New York City, tech guys in their Patagonia vests in San Francisco, social media influencers in LA, and worst of all, poli-sci bros in DC.
We're the cuties in the
Democratic Party that are speaking?
Ugh, I don't know. Talk to anyone who lives in D.C. It's hard to find a cute Democrat. Ask anyone who lives in D.C. and who works in Democratic politics. It's hard to find the cute ones.
The Republican guys are hotter?
Yeah, but they're evil. So, like, I don't know.
We kind of love evil. Oh my god.
Women seem to find all of these men repulsive, but will engage with them because they can offer them some sort of societal or monetary gain. And from what I've observed, that's when women become the most resentful and bitter towards the opposite gender, which of course is rather fascinating because ladies, I thought that's what you wanted. Hot dude with status, money, and all of the material things this world has to offer, right? But you don't like it at all. Apropos my point about virtue, ladies, the reason why you don't like these guys is because they don't fucking have any, and neither do you. Maybe it's time to focus on and value a couple of things that actually matter for your own sake. Honestly, I've just given up on humanity at this point. Like, you guys deserve each other. I'll keep this short, but it seems to me that all of the people who are actively engaging in the gender war are just hurt and neglected people who want to feel like they're taken care of, heard, seen, and loved in some capacity. The economy is in shambles, our personal lives are even worse, and our mental health as a result is in an unprecedented state of degradation. Our government and systems in place are just not taking care of us. And look, I get this is an immensely privileged take, but it's like, goodness gracious, can't these institutions throw us a frickin' bone here? I believe that because the systems in place have failed us to such an unimaginable extent, we kind of all know damn well they can't be immediately remedied, so instead we attack our fellow people who are probably going through an almost identical situation to ours, because they think a little bit differently than us or have different genitalia. To conclude, honestly, I'm done fighting this pointless war. I know it seems impossible, but the hatred and the vitriol need to go, my friends. The reality is we all need to try and understand and respect each other on the ground as best as we can, but it's very clear radicalism in some form is upon all of us. Maybe if we can lay down our arms of hatred and division and contempt, peace may be possible. Wishful thinking, I know. Good night, my darlings. Bye-bye. Dislike and